Good morning, everybody. Another day of Project 2020, and this is the official end of week number 12. We're just a couple of hours away from the ending buying time of the Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays. Along with that, there is a new pricing ceiling out there that we just cannot crush at the moment. We are stuck at a price point. We're going to talk about that, along with the fact that eBay is cracking down on sellers. Is the juice worth the squeeze? We're going to find out, but first, if you're not subscribed, please hit that button. There's a daily video coming at you about Project 2020. So if you're a fan, hit that button. Now, let's get to episode 25. So let's jump right into this today. Look, it's very simple. We have just a couple of hours on the Jackie Robinson and the Tony Gwynn. I was personally very, very surprised to see the numbers coming yesterday on the Maguire and the Brett. But there is a good sign out there in a sense of these numbers. Look, they're still large. 9,000 and 6,000 are still very large numbers when you think of pricing and where we can make money on the flip game in a sense with this product. But it was good to see that those cards have come down. And it looked like people bought these cards based on the player, which is what happened in the first 30 cards. And that's the only way we bought these cards was by the player. And look, George Brett has never been a strong performer. For whatever reason, people are not buying his cards. So he had the lowest combined total before yesterday's cards when him and Sandy Koufax were at 75 and 76. So look, I should have probably seen that overall, but the buying patterns this week have been so different and they've been so up and down, yo-yo in a sense. It's been really hard to land on a target range and be successful with my projection just because everything has been so, wishy-washy. And then we've got artists buying possibly 3,000 to 5,000 cards of their own, which really throws out those ranges in a sense. So we'll find out. Look, I'm sticking with my ranges right now for Tony Gwynn and Jackie Robinson. It appears if you used yesterday's math and yesterday's performance that I'm going to overshoot these. But I think there's some real desire around this Jackie Robinson. So that's why I'm not adjusting these ranges down. I think it's easy. It could be easy to adjust them back down a couple thousand, but I'm going to keep them. I just want to see how I do versus the new potential buying patterns. Also, I think the Gwynn is going to get a bump from this Jackie Robinson. Gwynn is not sold well also throughout the history of this, and I think obviously I've said it a couple times, it's because he's not with us anymore. People really don't know who Tony Gwynn is from the young collector perspective, but we'll find out. I'm going to leave the ranges there. I'm not going to change them. I'm not going to bring them down. I'm just going to see how I do. It's been a tough week overall, so I'm not going to start at the last minute changing the ranges. I'm going to stick with my initial number, and we will see how the chips fall. But let's take a quick look back at the cards that got released in week number 12. So leading us off on Monday morning was King Saladin's Nolan Ryan. And paired with him on day number 1 was Grotesque's Dwight Gooden. And then on Tuesday we had the Ermsey Derek Jeter, and he was paired with the Gregory Siff Bob Gibson. On Wednesday we had the now infamous Ben Baller Cal Ripken, along with Sophia Chang's Roberto Clemente. On Thursday, we had Mr. Cartoon's Mark Maguire and Old Man Allen's George Brett. And then Friday, which is releasing here soon, we have the Matt Taylor Tony Gwynn, and we have the Jackie Robinson by F. Now, while we can wait for the chips to fall in a mythical projection that has no bearing on anything in real life, what does have a bearing in real life is the pricing for the cards that have recently been released. And I'm thinking of cards that are from 60 to 90. I'm not really looking right now at 90 and above just because they're not even anywhere near out. But what I did last night was take a look at all of the pricing from 60 to 90. I put into a nice little handy chart, which is what I kind of shared on Twitter last night as a sneak preview of the show today. And then I also went back and looked at the 5 lowest printed cards in the 2000s to give us an idea of where pricing is at the moment. And look, there is a ceiling out there, and I don't think we're going to be getting past that ceiling anytime soon. That ceiling is locked, and it's also going to relate into the fact that eBay is cracking down on us sellers. And the idea is, if we use this pricing graph, is it worth messing with eBay and any potential suspension coming to sell these cards? But let's look at that chart real quick. So it may be hard on the screen to get a full view of this, but I'll put it on the website here after the video. But all this does from left to right is just tracks, that's the players, but it starts, if you look at the 6th player in, so Mark Maguire is 60, and then it goes all the way to 90, which is Ted Williams. And then I added on the first 5 cards, I've added in cards from 2100, which was the Henderson, to 2300, which was George Brett, to kind of give us some idea of where those prices are. Now, this is the 7-day pricing of these cards. It's just from Terapeak, and just a very simple search on these cards. I try to look at what was sold, maybe taking away lots and stuff like that, but for the most part, this data is pretty accurate, for as accurate as Terapeak can be. And so you look at the left side of the graph. I mean, cards with a 2000 print run, $63 for the Brett, up to the Henderson, which is $135 value. So there's some wide ranges there, but if you look at it there from the 2000 range, there's some good money when you think about this was a $15 card originally. But then we get to card 60, and card 60 is where I entered the game from a buying perspective, and where I think a lot of us probably jumped in early, maybe 50s or 60s, and then we've carried through. I mean, we're now at a card, 114, or I lose track at times, and that's why my graph in the morning gets sometimes off on my thumbnail. But look, when you started card 60, Mark McGwire, now that's a short print one. I say short print, it's 2600. That is $66 over the past 7 days. But then look at 61, 62, 63. I can just go down the line here. There's that ceiling. It's basically $30. Yes, you're going to have 2 cards there above the number. So the Tony Gwynn, Josh Videz is $45, and you have the Frank Thomas, which is $40, card 73. But for the most part, look at that chart. It's a ceiling in a sense. There is no way to get past that. There's just too much inventory right now to get above $30. Now, what the orange line is the print run. And you can see at the bottom, it is very, very low. So it's also, I didn't want to add the number to the orange line because then the graph is too messy. It's kind of messy as it is right now, but it's very, very low. And you can see it spike. The moment it spikes, the prices come down. And then you get all the way over to 85, Mike Trout. That's the first one that really spikes over, in a sense, the blue line. And look at it right now, $22. Now, of course, these cards are weeks from being out, but these are cards that used to be 2 months ago. The moment they went off pre-sale, they were $30, $35, and went up from there. Now we're basically flipping pennies right now, actually losing money, because when you look at Griffey, the last 7 days, that card is worth $11.75. And when you think about the surge that I talked about the other day on the video, there are so many people out there right now who got into the set at that time frame that now have 20, 30, 40 cards they thought they were going to sell for $100. They're now selling for under cost, $11.75. And you look at Koufax and Williams, look, $15, that's card 90. And you're going to see a similar story from 91 to 100, and just because they're so far out, and it just is what it is. So look, right now, the last 50 cards right now, 50, 60 cards, are barely worth $30. And when you think about shipping and you think about the selling fees, is it really worth it? And I say that because eBay is cracking down on sellers, and a lot of us are getting caught in this, are getting squeezed right now, and it's a very difficult game. And the question is, can we use these numbers to make a decision? I have made a big decision for next week, and let's talk about that right now. Also, if you're thinking or asking where do all these graphics come from or the numbers, please check out the website, crtsportscards.com. Go to my Project 2020 page, and it has everything there for you. And you can quickly reference any number that I talk about here on the show. So to start off with the eBay piece, this is not a rant against eBay. eBay's been very beneficial to me over my career as a seller. I think I've been with them for 18 years, if not longer now, for this one account I'm on. So this is definitely not a rant here. This is just the vicious cycle that we're in at the moment, and it's made me make a decision for next week and going forward. But look, here's the cycle. Look, we started doing pre-orders on eBay. I jumped in around, I think, 71 offering pre-orders, and others out there, there's bigger guys than me, Twins Jake, all those guys out there doing large scale pre-orders. I'm just a nickel and dime kind of guy on these pre-orders. But then once the prices started going up around May 20th, everybody who bought these cards at cost were then selling them at $500, $600, $1,000, and nobody had these cards. And remember, 6 months ago, it was taboo to sell a card that you didn't have in hand. But then all of a sudden it was fine because there was so much money out there. But then prices crashed. People canceled. The return wave happened. And if you've been on social media, you know all about the return wave. You know about the order cancellation wave. I just got one this morning from a customer who bought a Matt Taylor, Frank Thomas. Look, whatever, it happens. I'm thankfully not exposed that much on these cards that sold at a high price. I'm sort of exposed on pre-orders, but nobody has really canceled a pre-order yet at $17. So that's really good to see. But when those returns happened, that started flagging people's accounts. Why is this person having these amount of returns in a short period? Why are people canceling their orders? Then on the flip side, Topps' ordering process went from 7 to 10 days to now 3 weeks to a month. So now sellers have all of these late orders. Like right now myself, I have, I think, 14 orders that are late at the moment. Now, a couple of them are my fault because I did the shipping at like 1 day versus 30 days. But like I don't have 73 and 74 yet. And those apparently, there's a shipping issue. Apparently Topps messed up half the cards. And so I don't even have those. Those are now late. I have 77 and 78 coming in on Monday. Those are already late on my eBay store, and it's just going to continue to be late as these cards get further and further away. And when you talk about the surge, I think these shipping windows are going to now move to 4 to 5 to 6 weeks. I just don't see how they get these many cards out in such a short time frame, considering the world we live in right now. But they could surprise me, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So eBay now is blocking sellers, suspending sellers. I mean, I had my eBay payments suspended for 5 days last week while they looked into my account, and the quote they used was due to a surge in volume. But what happened to me in my mind is I had a refund request on Monday, and then all of a sudden my payments got locked. And when I called them, their reasoning was, we have a surge in volume, we're checking things out. And I basically said, well, what can I do to avoid this going forward? Because look, I'm running consignment now. I'm doing pre-orders. I can walk you through every single order I've got pending or late or whatever that might be. They're like, oh, we don't really know. They have to review the process. So look, I get it. eBay has to protect the buyers. And if they're seeing accounts that all of a sudden have a surge in returns or refunds, they've got to protect the buyer. And I get it. Look, I want that protection as a buyer. If I bought something from somebody who then had a massive slate of returns or refund requests, I want that seller checked out. I completely get it. But when you tie this back in to the chart from a second ago, the last 50 cards are not worth more than $30. So I have made the decision going forward, at least in this time frame, to no longer offer pre-orders on eBay or even my weekly bundles. To me, it's not worth it. What you can't see here on my floor over here is I've got about 15 large priority boxes of consignment from one customer to go through over the next 4 to 5, 6 months, along with other customers sending me stuff for consignment. I can't risk my eBay account for a nickel and dime pre-order for $17 that I'm actually selling at a loss. And I think if you're thinking about jumping into the pre-order game or selling on eBay when it comes to these Project 2020 cards, I would caution you, just because right now there's very little money to be made on these newer cards. And if you run afoul of eBay or you get your account suspended or anything, it's so difficult to get it unsuspended. They are asking sellers to jump through like 17 hoops, and they're not accepting paperwork from Topps and things like that. So it's very, very difficult. So I'm very concerned that if Topps continues to delay these orders or not ship them out in the future, that I'm going to potentially get my account suspended. And not that I can't afford to do that, I don't want to have my eBay account suspended. So I'm no longer taking any more pre-orders for eBay. I'm still going to be ordering 5 per card. So I'm going to drop my orders down to 5 right now, and then be able to put together, like player sets or 10 card lots, whatever that could be in the future. But to me right now, if you're thinking about jumping in on the eBay game, I would wait until the cards are out or wait till all this dust settles. But right now, it is a very, very tricky spot on eBay, and they're locking us down, and I get it, but at the same time, it's not worth the money anymore. It's not worth these cards coming in at $17, buying them, and then selling them for $25, $30. It's just not worth it. So for me, going forward, no more pre-orders. I will, though, have these for sale when they come out and they're live in my hands. So there we have it, a different kind of show, but a show that basically says there's no money in this right now. It's very difficult. If there is, it's pennies. And if you're trying to make pennies, you're going to risk getting your eBay account suspended. So it's ultimately not worth it. So have a great Sunday. Have fun collecting Project 2020. I'll be excited to see what these print runs land this morning. And I'll see you back tomorrow morning for episode number 26.